Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave from Cormor Productions, here to talk about This Is Us, Season 6, Episode 10, titled Every Version of You. The episode's description reads as follows. Randall and Rebecca embark on a road trip and reflect on their past. The episode was written by Dan Fogelman and Kay Oyogan, and the episode was directed by series star Justin Hartley. This is his second directorial stint on the series. He did Season 4's A Hell of a Week Part 3, and I'm sure I mentioned in the past that he also directed his previous series, one episode of Smallville. Before going any further, I will tell you a couple of things. One, this is not a spoiler-free video, so if you haven't watched the episode yet, please go and check it out. Secondly, if you like this video and want to support the channel, please like, share, and comment, as well as subscribing to my channel. Just a quick hit today. I'm sure you're getting used to this sort of thing. One out of my last 4 videos on this series was actually long form. The rest have been shorter. This is the concluding chapter of the Big 3 trilogy, the last one of the series. This one focusing on Randall in 3 different time periods. There's, of course, the pool with the young kids. Those wondering where Randall was while Kevin was being drowned by his father and Kate was clinging to Jack get to discover exactly what he was up to during the course of these scenes. We have the college age timeline where the kids are once again trying to escape the pool that's now abandoned, and the present day timeline where the situation with Malik and Deja finally blows up in Randall's face. I wish I could say that I enjoyed this episode, and I sort of did, but at the same time, it just felt very slight. It didn't feel like a worthy or important chapter that goes along with the Big 3 trilogy. It just seemed, if this were a standard everyday episode, I would like this episode more. But for the concluding chapter in the Big 3 saga, it just does not seem big enough or dramatic enough. And honestly, I kind of find it odd that we really haven't heard anything about the whole Deja and Malik thinking about moving in together thing since episode 5 of the season. Meaning that there's been like 5 episodes since the last time we were dealing with this plotline. And it feels like putting it off till now just doesn't work organically. And the resolution to that particular plot line is kind of lame and anticlimactic. This might have worked if we had seen a little bit more of what was going on with this before this. But they set this story up in episode 5, actually more like before that. In episode 3 is when Deja went to Boston. And then they just kind of dropped it until now. A good chunk of that is because of the structure of the series and the way it's set up. In episode 5, Randall told Malik that he should dump her and the relationship now, if he really cared about her. And 5 episodes later, we're finally dealing with the fallout from that. Because Malik does end up dumping Deja. He does end up acting weird after this scene in episode 5. And although he later says that he didn't do what he did because of Randall, I don't know, I'm not sure that I totally believe that. His words affected Malik enough to do this. To pull the trigger on ending a relationship with someone that he really cared about. Deja, of course, learns the truth of what Randall says, or said to Malik that night, and it blows up in his face. She tells him that he hates him, that he's not his father, or rather her father. He's just someone that took her away from her mom. It's the kind of terrible, hurtful thing that only a teenager could say to their parents. To me, it just seems like if this is what you're going to do with it, then why make this a multi-episode arc? Not enough happened here to really make this worthwhile. Now, it actually did not occur to me what Randall was talking about during the Thanksgiving episode, or rather the aftermath, when Kevin and Randall were talking about their tough night. Now, I assumed that meant they were talking about Rebecca and how Thanksgiving went in general, which was drama-filled. And I didn't really understand Randall's reference to being the father of a teenage girl. That completely flew over my head. But that morning, while Kevin is going off to hang out with Nikki and Cassidy, and Kate with Toby, pretty much ending her marriage there, Deja goes missing. Deja decides to go to Boston to try to get Malik back. And of course, this sets up the episode's events. Randall decides to go after her, and Rebecca, because Randall makes a comment about Kate becoming the decision maker in the event that Miguel dies, she decides to go along for the ride and go on a little bit of a road trip. Now, the scenes between Randall and Rebecca were nice in this episode. It just didn't seem like there was enough. Not enough important conversations, not enough drama to make this a worthy concluding chapter to the Big Three trilogy, the last of the series. Comparatively speaking, prior episodes to this had way more going on for it. I was initially extremely annoyed with Randall's comment about Kate making the decisions, his little joke, and he tried to pass it off as such when Rebecca brought it up later, but it was pretty obvious that some part of him actually felt that way. And I was annoyed with him. It brought back memories of how he was acting towards the end of season 4 when he was really making me angry, specifically related to trying to push Rebecca into the drug trial that ultimately ended up getting him into a fight with Kevin, that vicious fight that ended the season 4 and started with season 5 on bad terms. I was hoping when we got to the end of this episode and Rebecca started revealing her real reasons for not making Randall the decision maker, that she would bring up his behavior in season 4, that she didn't want him getting into a fight with Kevin like last time. But ultimately, that's not the reason that Rebecca ends up giving. She doesn't want him to stop his entire life for her illness, to try to save her, which she knows full well that he would do. A lot of this episode was about showing how Randall was essentially the glue that kept the family together, even while Jack was alive. When he was a kid, he got all the kids and the family into the pool just by being silly. A silly action got Kevin and Kate into the pool with Jack and Rebecca after the days seemed cooked. In the college-age timeline, which was pretty fun to watch, I'm not going to lie, this might be the last time that we see the three of them interacting as college-age kids in this series. But there, he demonstrated both how he was there for Rebecca and how he got his siblings out of trouble. What this episode does have to say about Randall and his relationship to his family is worthwhile. It's just, there isn't really enough drama. And from here, Randall's journey seems to be about his political aspirations, which to me is the least interesting thing about his character. I didn't really like the campaign stories of season 3. I believe it was season 3. I've just never really been interested in Randall's political career. But that is nevertheless where we seem to be taking Randall. Anyway, it was a decent episode, not bad. It just, all in all, felt like there wasn't enough here, not enough drama to really justify this being the concluding chapter of the Big Three trilogy. If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are a number of ways to do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. You can join one of my 2 Facebook pages, the Corman Productions one, as well as the This Is Us discussion page. You can buy something from the Corman Productions store on Zazzle. You can buy me a copy, which is a new way to support content creators such as myself. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video, as well as subscribing to my channel. This is Dave from Corman Productions, signing off.